Welcome to the show. Get ready for some seriously addictive action today, because we've got not one but two incredible stories lined up.
That's right. Two tales of adventure and, wait, a fair amount of carnage. You know, the kind of stuff that'll leave you wanting more.
Absolutely. Tales of heroes facing down the impossible. So strap in, and if you like what you hear, hit that rate button and follow the show. We'll be back with more action hero episodes soon enough.
You bet. Today we're diving into two narratives, both dealing with protagonists thrown into some pretty extreme situations.
Yeah, facing down incredible odds and finding ways to fight back.
We'll start with Emberstorm, which drops us into a world where dragons rule the skies.
You got it. Iron is scarce, like super rare, since it's the only thing that can really hurt these giant beasts. And in this world, our main character is a gunslinger with a mission.
A very specific mission, actually.
Right. She's got these unique bullets, and she's out to take down a tyrannical dragon.
We've got some excerpts from the story that really get you right into the action.
Yeah. For this one, we're going to try to figure out how this quest begins and just how bad the odds are stacked against our hero.
It's a real David and Goliath situation.
Yeah.
Only with a lot more fire involved.
A lot more fire. Now, our hero is Jess. And let's be clear, she's not really buying into any of the old legends. Like the one about the Whisperer.
The Dragon Slayer.
Right, this legendary gunslinger who could supposedly take down a dragon with a single perfect shot.
Sounds a little too good to be true, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Especially in Jess's world, the truth is much more brutal. Dragons are just about unkillable. And, well, it's hard to argue with that based on her life so far.
Totally. Her skepticism is rooted in the realities she faces every single day.
I mean, you know, legends might give you some comfort, but surviving under the constant threat of Dragonfire.
Probably doesn't leave a whole lot of room for fairy tales.
Exactly. It's about survival, pure and simple. And we learn pretty quickly that Jess is an orphan.
Taken in by a blacksmith after her village was, well, basically wiped out.
Yeah, it was completely destroyed. And this blacksmith, he's interesting. He's holding on to this secret hope, a belief in the legend of the Whisperer.
Almost like he needs to believe it to keep going.
Right. And on top of that, he's been secretly forging these special bullets using Dragonfire. Which, I mean, talk about dangerous work.
That's some serious dedication right there.
Yeah. To risk your life for that kind of craft, it's like a symbol of defiance, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. It speaks to a deep-seated resistance, a refusal to just give in, even when the odds are so overwhelming.
And speaking of overwhelming odds, the backdrop to all of this is Redmaw, the tyrannical dragon who rules over everything.
You really get a sense of how constant the danger is from dragon attacks.
Yeah. Jess's life, I mean, it's all about scraping by, loading these old guns, and smuggling out the bullets the blacksmith makes as tribute.
Tribute to the very creatures who are terrorizing them.
Talk about adding insult to injury.
It's this constant reminder of their powerlessness.
Yeah.
To survive, they have to literally feed the monster that's destroying their lives.
It's a bleak existence. Just when you think things can't get any worse, something even more unthinkable happens.
What happens?
The blacksmith disappears. Vanishes without a trace during one of those tribute runs.
Gone. Just like that.
It's like you can only imagine what Jess must be feeling in that moment. Despair, anger, fear. It's probably a mix of everything.
You're probably right. It's like losing the last bit of hope you had left.
And it's in that moment that she makes a decision.
To go after him.
She grabs the blacksmith's guns and the last of those precious bullets.
That doesn't sound like much to take on a dragon.
It doesn't, does it? And it doesn't feel like some grand, heroic moment. It feels more like a desperate gamble.
The kind of decision you make when you have nothing left to lose.
Exactly. A cornered animal lashing out. And then, of course, she has her first encounter with Redmaw.
How does that go?
You know, it doesn't exactly go to plan. The initial shot, it bounces harmlessly off the dragon's thick scales.
No kidding, right?
Nope. It's like this massive creature. It barely even notices this little human with a gun. Jess's only option is to run, to escape into these old abandoned mines.
Hopping for cover.
Praying that the tunnels will shield her from the dragon's fire.
Talk about a close call.
Oh, absolutely. But deep in those mines, she finds something completely unexpected.
What's that?
Allies. A group of miners, scarred and bitter, who have been driven underground by the dragons.
So they know exactly what she's facing.
Oh, yeah. And at first, they're terrified of the guns.
Makes sense. I mean, for them, those weapons probably represent the surface world and all the horrors they've been trying to escape.
Right. It's like a reminder of everything they fear.
But then Jess tells them about her shot. About how, even though it didn't pierce Redmaw's armor, it made the dragon flinch.
And that's the turning point, isn't it?
It's like a tiny spark of hope, a possibility they hadn't even considered before.
Yeah. Because if a dragon can flinch, if it can feel pain, then maybe, just maybe, it can be killed.
Maybe those legends aren't so far-fetched after all.
And surprisingly, Jess becomes this catalyst for change. I mean, she's not some seasoned leader.
But she's got that spark of defiance, right?
Right. It's like her action, that single shot, it inspires the miners to act. They start digging out old vantage points, finding ancient catapults.
From the old mines.
Yeah, and they start planning, talking about how to use the bullets, aiming for the dragon's vulnerable underbelly. A very risky plan, but a plan nonetheless.
It's incredible how one person's courage can have that ripple effect.
Isn't it? And the showdown is amazing. They actually managed to lure Redmaw in with this massive offering of tribute.
Playing on the dragon's greed, eh?
Exactly. And while it's distracted, the miners spring their trap.
Ropes and catapults.
All of it. I mean, it's not exactly a high-tech operation, but for the first time, they're not just helpless victims.
They're fighting back.
And then it happens. Redmaw, annoyed and distracted, rears back and exposes its underbelly for a split second.
And Jess takes her shot.
The recoil slams her back, and then silence for just a heartbeat, and then the screech as Redmaw claws at its belly. The bullet didn't kill it.
But it definitely hurt it.
Oh yeah, it left a visible wound.
It's got to be a sight.
It was the culmination of all their efforts, of their courage and planning. It proved that the dragons could be hurt.
Which completely changes everything.
Redmaw retreats, wounded and furious, promising vengeance.
The miners, what's their reaction?
Not celebration. It's deeper than that. It's more like, well, a sense of possibility.
Like a door has opened.
Exactly. And Jess realizes something important, too. It wasn't about some magical bullet. It was about their collective effort, their unity.
It was about their willingness to fight, to stand together.
And the story ends with this thought. Maybe, just maybe, the Age of Dragons isn't eternal. Pretty powerful stuff.
Very powerful. So now we're going to jump to a totally different time and place for our second story, Tomb Raider, Upgraded.
You ready for a change of scenery? All right, good. Because we're leaving the dragon-scorched skies and heading straight to the sands of ancient Egypt.
Sounds like a fun trip.
It is. This time, our hero is a time-traveling gunslinger who ends up as the protector of Pharaoh Ramses II.
That's quite the resume builder.
Right. And he's facing not just human threats, but some seriously otherworldly ones as well. Like, we're talking supernatural forces here.
We've got some excerpts that really showcase the weirdness of this whole situation.
Yeah, we're going to explore how this Wild West gunslinger adapts to ancient Egypt and the crazy dangers he finds there.
It's a classic fish-out-of-water story, with a touch of ancient mythology thrown in.
So, our hero, Tex, arrives in ancient Egypt in the most abrupt way imaginable. He's right in the middle of a Wild West shootout, and then boom.
He's in ancient Egypt.
Transported. And his immediate concern, his cult peacemaker. I mean, can you picture a six-shooter next to linen robes?
No, really.
And his introduction to Egyptian society is pure chaos. He stumbles into a royal funeral procession.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Yeah, he's not great with first impressions. But this leads to a pivotal encounter with a priest.
Who just happens to speak perfect English.
Convenient, right. And this priest declares Tex a protector. Apparently, Ramses needs some unconventional protection.
Protection from what exactly?
From these mysterious threats. We don't know exactly what they are at first, but they sound pretty serious. And Tex, he learns quickly. The local beer is apparently terrible.
Good to know.
But he also learns that the Egyptian gods, they're not just stories.
They're real.
They're real, and they get involved. There's this scene where a priest summons a sandstorm right over the palace.
A sandstorm? Seriously?
And Tex just unloads his six-shooter into it. And the sandstorm disappears, just like that. Ramses is absolutely dumbfounded.
It's like the ultimate clash of cultures.
It is. Tex's very modern methods are surprisingly effective against what seems like actual magic. And we start to get a feel for Ramses, too. He's cocky, loves the fancy clothes and the statues of himself.
Typical Pharaoh, huh?
Yeah, but he's also got a sense of humor, and he respects Tex's unorthodox approach.
So they're actually forming a bond, despite their differences.
I think so. And palace life for Tex. It's a constant stream of danger, deadly chariot races, poisoned figs. It's almost comical.
But it also makes you think, right?
It does, because even across vast stretches of time, the power struggles, the threats, they're all still there. Human nature doesn't really change, does it?
I guess not.
Yeah.
And then comes the encounter with the mummy.
The Mummy, but this isn't your typical slow-moving mummy.
What is it then?
It's this swirling vortex of sand, screaming and roaring.
That sounds terrifying.
It is. Tex naturally tries to shoot it.
That's his answer for everything, isn't it?
Pretty much. But the bullets pass right through it. The thing just keeps reforming, getting closer and closer to Ramses. It's a whole new level of threat for Tex.
Something beyond just guns and outlaws.
Exactly. So why does Tex make his final stand? Well, part of it might be loyalty to Ramses.
Ramses hasn't been so bad to him.
Right. But let's be real, the promise of all that ancient Egyptian gold probably helps too. And before he goes up against the mummy, he has this hilarious internal monologue.
Channeling his inner John Wayne.
Totally. And then he sees it, a ruby embedded in the mummy's forehead.
So what does he do?
He shoots it, of course. But this time the effect is completely different.
Tell me.
The mummy dissolves into dust, leaving this awful smell behind. Even Tex's gun is warped and damaged from the shot.
Wow. Whatever that ruby was, it held some serious power.
And Tex. He's completely nonchalant about the whole thing. He just holsters his gun, grins at Ramses, and starts thinking about his next adventure.
Typical Tex.
There's talk of a lost city, more treasure. It's like he's already adapted to this crazy new world.
Embracing the chaos.
It's really quite amazing. And it comes down to this. Even when facing the extraordinary, whether it's dragons or sand mummies, practical skills and a willingness to adapt can make all the difference.
And a good dose of luck never hurts either.
Absolutely. So what a wild ride, right? Two completely different stories, both packed with action and adventure.
From dragon-infested wastelands to the mysteries of ancient Egypt.
We saw Jess fighting against impossible odds, finding strength in community.
And Tex, the ultimate fish out of water, using his unique skills to navigate a whole new world.
It makes you wonder what ordinary people are capable of when faced with extraordinary circumstances. That's the heart of what makes an action hero, isn't it?
It's that spark of defiance, that willingness to fight even when all hope seems lost.
So, which story resonated with you more? The gritty struggle for survival or the time-traveling adventure? Let us know. And don't forget to rate and follow the Action Hero podcast for more thrilling tales. We'll be back soon with more addictive action stories. Stay tuned.
You won't want to miss it.